and welcome to my video. In today's video, I would like to share a live update with you guys about my Pokemon Unite Championship series this year. One of the reasons I want to share a live update with you guys again is because I want to share with you one of the reasons why I haven't really been uploading consistently, and it has been starting at LAIC. At the World Championship, we finished at 8th place, and we decided to get together as a team. Ghatlue, Brav, Rune, and Adesso. We were pretty happy with the result and stayed as a team. LAIC was on the corner. It just got announced, and it also said that the winner for LAIC gets to play in the Asia Champions League, which happens in Yokohama, Japan. LAIC being around the corner and our flights being booked. Once we arrived in Brazil, we did a show match against DreamHack Esports in a Nouns house, which was such a cool experience. We had Zoinks, Struggles, Snoop Snacks cast the games for us in the Nouns house, and the Nouns house provided us with food, setup, and PCs to have voice chats with each other. It was a really cool experience. We even had like a huge wall with said like DreamHack versus Nouns Esports. We aim to win LAIC because the winner gets to play in the Asia Champions League, which again happened in Japan, which is like such a cool place to just participate in and play in. Feeling very confident, we did a 5-0 clean run in the Swiss bracket in day 1. We played against Team YT on stage, and I had a small interview with the Humors. Since it was a Swiss round, we only played one game on stage, and even though we lost the Big Quasar, we still won by a point lead. Like, losing Big Quasar doesn't necessarily mean losing the game. This is like one of the showcases. In day 2, we had a bye since we got first seed in our group, and we had to face 2Z Esports for the top 4 placement in the LAIC tournament. It was a very intense best of 3. We were 1-1, meaning the next game is going to decide who is going to go to the top 4. We had 2 team fights during the last match, but we were just short on winning, having 5 cleaning up the entire team with the Blaziken and making a hero play for Brazil and winning them the set. The LAIC lose was very devastating because we really aimed to win the LAIC and participate in the Asia Champions League, but LG definitely deserved to win the tournament as well. They played really well. However, LAIC only meant the beginning of the Pokemon Unite Championship Series, because the next qualifier is the UIC play-ins, which is a very important qualifier since you received the Rival Award for the UIC. Tali decided to leave Nouns Esports 1 week before the Ice Cup play-ins. All the rosters were already locked in and we had to sub in lane. Lane has been with us since Season 1 and only subbed in one time for us in Season 2 in the March Cup, and we got 3rd place. With not much practice and having only 1 week, we decided to play with Blaine, and he played the support role for us, and Adesso swapped to the attacker role and Toonslam to the jungle role. So we had a lot of role swap going on, and only 1 week to prepare for the tournament. We didn't have the highest expectation for the tournament, but still aimed to win. All the EU teams were already locked in, and with no time to practice, we went into the tournament. And to our surprise, we had a really great performance, and Blaine sealed up the deal with an amazing Blizzy secure on the Big Quasar in the last game, and we qualified for UIC. It gave us a huge confidence boost and motivation boost to keep going. Having 2 months to practice for UIC, we made some arrangements leading up to the event. After our UIC win, we locked in Inda as a sub, with the goal to have Inda play the UIC Cup with us. Blaine played the December Cup and January Cup with us, and to our surprise, we also won both of these tournaments, making us the 3 times EU champions. After that, Inda joined our main roster, and Blaine went into the substitute spot again, so we can play with Inda for the UIC event. Winning 3 cups in a row with Blaine was a really great moment for us and a really nice memory to keep. Inda played the February Cup with us, having his return to the United Esports scene once again, but we just fell short on winning, losing against Gen 5 in the Grand Finals. But that didn't stop us from playing the UIC tournament. We aimed to play the UIC tournament, win it, and qualify for Worlds. UIC being around the corner, we've made our final preparation. But one day before the tournament, the UCS admins announced that Hyperspace Portal is going to be banned for the tournament. This was probably one of the worst things that could happen to us, since Indy is one of the best super players in the game, and we practiced so much with the Hyperspace Portal leading up to the event that it was a very bad news for us. Groups being announced, we felt pretty confident going into our groups, having to play against T3, Arise, and Lelovas, and for us being the only threat, Lelovas in that group. We beat T3 and Arise, making our standings to 0. The game against Lelovas was very intense, losing our first game, winning the second game, and having a 1-1 standing again, deciding who is going to be the first seed for our group. Game 3, I decided to lock in Buzzworld to aim to win the early game and control the game from there on, and it was the right choice. We won the early game, controlled the entire game, and we had a really good game 3. However, when the Rayquaza was approaching, I did a huge mistake because I tried to give my team vision, and because I stayed in the bush for too long, I got caught off guard, wasted my ultimate, focus pad and eject button for the late game fight, and the enemy scored over 200 points, which was very devastating. However, the game wasn't lost yet, and we were able to win, but the issue was we didn't decide to flip the Rayquaza, which made us probably win the game when the enemies were hesitant as well, making us lose the game when we had the chance to win the game. But that didn't mean that we were out of the tournament just yet, because we had to play the top 12 in day 2. The top 12 bracket got announced, and because DreamHack Esports lost against Stamina Esports in their group, we had to play against Brazil once again in day 2. The first game we dominated DreamHack Esports with our Ghatlue and Blizzy composition, which we played in the previous tournament.
The passive on Umbreon is the heavy slam, going straight in, wide guard, tons of damage. Ghatlue's there. Now they're popped right into the Poltergeist. Backline approach by Mazo. They're looking to get a KO, but it's 2 players down on Dreamers. Another great heavy slam by Bruff for the engagement. Ghatlue's there is going to have to do everything under the sun. Coup de grace does get Ghatlue, but Ghatlue's there goes down. Those Icicle Spears are on the chase, and they're enough to get the last KO. DreamHack Esports is done for. Nouns looking like true form, grabbing this thing in game 1.
Being very confident for game 2, we put out the 2 Firebirds, Talonflame and Blaziken. The game was very stressful for both teams, but Toon got caught off guard before Rayquaza, and DreamHack made a rough call to full flip the Rayquaza in a game 2, which was very rough because I was already prepared to kill the Rayquaza at that time as well. But the Rayquaza survived my overhit at 0.1% HP and making us losing the second game, making it another game 3 scenario where the game 3 decides it all. Game 3, both teams were set to win no matter what. I played Blaziken already 2 times in that set, and going into game 3, I locked in Blaziken again. I felt very confident on it. The game was a back and forth of bullfighting and just trying their best to win the set. But before the Rayquaza, DreamHack decided to pressure Bruff, using a Leafeon ultimate at 230 to decide the game, which was kinda weird, but I was already prepared to make the counter engage, using a massive eject button overhit combo into 3 people, executing 2 people, and making the call to flip the Rayquaza. Making the call to full flip the Rayquaza in that scenario wasn't even bad, because I had the best secure in the game, and I was locked in to secure the Rayquaza. I kept hitting the Rayquaza and hoped to secure it, because I felt very confident and no one was able to stop me. But to our surprise, Slowbro respawned and eject button over the Rayquaza pit to use a Unite move on me. But since we didn't have enough rip damage on Rayquaza, Slowbro was able to flash over the Ray pit and use a slow beam on me on time, which cost us the game. Losing this set and placing top 12 at UIC was very devastating for me and my team, so I started adopting my team and asking myself if this is the right thing going forward. After a week it felt like forever, we had a long team talk about UIC, about what happened, about what we wanna do as a team going forward, and we decided to stay as a team. With a fresh new mindset and different approach, we started practicing for the upcoming tournament, the Last Chance Qualifier, which is a LAN event that happens at June in NAIC in New Orleans, and the winner of this qualifier gets a travel award for the LAN event. The Speedster patch with the Snorlax buffs was in our favor for that tournament, because we already played Xpecia attackers with Defender carries, and since Gruff used to play a lot of LAIC and solo queue, it was a very fun thing for him. And I love playing Speedsters in general as well, so that patch was definitely in our favor. Toon and me covered all the Speedster roles and started flexing around. While I was the Dream Eater player on Gengar, he was the Hex player on Gengar.
For some levels. Well, one thing for certain is this Reggie lucky where they can get the steal, and they do.
As well, a massive exodus into the central area.
Oh man,
are going to be going in deep, forced to use that Phantom ambush. A really nice X Scissor is going to crowd control Ghatlue, but they are on the Rayquaza. It's 50% on the Rayquaza. You do have the Unite move from the Absol, able to get the confirmation is the Gengar.
We made it to the grand finals, beating first place or nothing in the finals, and waited for the next opponent. During the first game of the grand finals, we had full control of the game, but at the 230 mark, and because the Speedster meta was so squishy, the Gen 5 decided to do a hard engage, which cost us the game because we had long death timers. As Speedster is always a long death timer, and we lost the first game. We also lost the second game in a similar fashion at 230, trying to contest the bottom Reggie objective and losing the game. However, because we had the Grand Finals advantage, we had a bracket reset.
Not going to go and take that fight. Instead, going for this positioning. The flower trick has landed on Toon, and they end up getting pushed on back, not once but twice.
Ooh, but the Midnight Slash coming into the Psychic Solar as well helps so much for this fight to happen as 2 members make it 3. Self-announced Esports, they know they have to rip this one. 30%, Mega comes in. Oh, and the stun with the Psychic is just helpful. And they make it now, Esports!
Over 800 points to 160 or so. No further duds are going to go in from Gen 5. And now it's Esports. They are going to be your EU representatives at NAIC in New Orleans.
And in the bracket reset, we beat Gen 5 and won the last chance qualifier. Winning the last chance qualifier was such a motivation and confidence boost for the team, since I also doubted myself in the team if it was the right choice. So I'm happy that we proved ourselves to be the right choice and to stick together. We've pretty much locked in for the last chance qualifier. We will keep on going with the aim to win the World Championship. Now that I explained everything, I hope everyone is updated about the current state of my team and myself. And now I would like to talk about what I'm doing currently. I applied for my university a couple of months ago, and at the end of this month I will know if I get accepted or not. I want to study the social work, and if I get accepted, then I will be trying to figure out how to do the content creation with the university. However, now I have more time to create content. The competition was a very stressful thing. There were so many tournaments in a row. But now that things calmed down a little bit, I will be working on this Pablo Timer video that I promised you guys to do. Hey, this is future Ghatlue. I got notification that I got accepted to my uni, and I'm very excited for it. I will be studying social work because I want to be eventually a social worker in the future. Now that I got accepted, I have to figure out how to manage my real life, content life, and competitive life, because it's going to be a lot of things, but I will try to manage it. For now, we will be uploading less content on this YouTube channel because I have to focus on my studies and figure out how the university works. Thank you everyone for watching the live update video. I hope everyone is up to date, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Bye everyone. We played against Team YT on stage. And I had a small interview with him. We had 2 team fights during the fight. We had 2 team fights during the last match. And we had two team fights during the last match, but just fell short in the. I kept hitting the Rayquaza in hope to. We had to face 2Z Esports in the second day. Oh man. Cut that part. What the fuck was I saying?